Hello and welcome to Michael and Mom Talk Cancer. I am your official host, Michael Kramer, and
I am the official mom, Ashlee Kramer, and okay, Michael always has like all these adjectives about how we're so excited for our guest, but today we are more than excited because he is not just a guest, he is family, he is our dear friend, he is the actual, oh my God, here comes our cat. She wants to be in on it too. He is the actual first person that we became friends with on this cancer journey, right, Michael?
yeah,
All right, you introduce him.
yes, today we have the founder of Oliver Patch Project, Brian Burkhardt.
Woo!
Hello,
The crowd
everybody
goes
in the
wild.
world. Hi, guys. Love you guys. I'm super excited to be here. And you're right. We are the first people that you guys ever met. And, Oliver and I were going into minor procedures and we saw Michael's crazy socks. And I was like, ooh, there's an excuse that we can talk to somebody. You know, it was COVID, so no one was talking to anybody. So that's how we met. And since then, we've been super close.
I know.
So who is Oliver and why Oliver Patch Project?
Wait, I just have to
We
say,
want to hear
wait, I need to go back to the story because it really was like the best thing ever. You were the first people that we spoke to too when we were in the minor procedures because they were diagnosed about 2 months apart. We were in minor procedures and I heard your voice and you were like, look at those socks, Oliver. And for me too, it was just like, oh my God, talking to you. I just have to say that from the moment you spoke to me, I was like, I love this human. You just are amazing. So, okay, now I will shut up and go ahead and ask your question, Michael.
So, Oliver Patch Project.
Yeah.
Who is Oliver?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
we know, but tell everybody who Oliver is.
So Oliver is my son. And I can tell you guys a little bit about our program, how we started, how it came to be. And, in 2020, same thing with you guys, we were diagnosed with leukemia. And COVID just started. So it was lockdown on top of lockdown. How our program came to be is that when we weren't at the hospital, we were on the sofa, not feeling good. And really, I wanted to get him up and moving, his body moving, And I remember when I was
first,
younger.
how old was Oliver? How old was he when he was
Oliver was
diagnosed? Let's
9 years
tell
old
everyone.
at this time.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Oliver was 9 years
Good.
old. I remember when I was younger, my aunt moved to California and she used to send me a piece of juicy fruit gum in the mail, probably once a month, but I would go every day and check the mail, like waiting for that piece of gum, and there was something about, maybe the anticipation. I was like, man, for me, waiting to get that mail, getting up and going to the mailbox, it was down the street. It wasn't a long walk, but it was long enough to get him moving. I was like, man, that would be great. And Oliver and I collect things. Like we collect Disney pins and patches. We both had jackets, something we did together. We weren't able to do that anymore. So what we just put something on Facebook. Trisha and I put something on Facebook. Trisha's my wife. So there's me and Oliver and Trisha and Peter. Peter was 4 at the time. And
he's a cutie.
Yeah, he's a cutie. He's an intense little boy, but he's great. So what we did is we just put something on Facebook to friends. Everyone asked what they could do, and it was very uncomfortable for us to receive love or receive like anything from anyone. We weren't comfortable, but in hindsight, that's really what we need, right? I mean, you need that love. Like that love is what gets us through and gives us this
That's
positive.
our theme. You know this, Brian. Our theme is love.
I know.
So it's just like that's why we love you.
That's why we're on the same page, right?
We are on the same page. I just have to go back to that because that is so true what you just said. And for so many caregivers, that is such a hard thing to come to terms with as people ask you what they can do. And you're just like, I don't know, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what you can do. And the fact I love that you guys did this. This was just like so beautiful. You just built like community and connection, but I'll let you keep going, but it just really sparked something. I feel like that's what so many caregivers have a hard time accepting is something.
Yeah, and my brother, just to get back to that, like I always remember like with Christmas presents, I could give Christmas presents, but I had a hard time receiving them. And then one day I realized that the feeling that I have by giving something, how am I to deny someone that same feeling, right? So that kind of put into perspective for me. Anyway, with that being said, so we just put on Facebook to send a patch, and we got 2,000 patches in a month from like around the world.
I
Around the world.
remember. I think you told us that, and I was just
Yeah.
like, 2,000 in a month.
Which was, to be honest with you, 75% of the people that sent them were people that we didn't know. So that outpouring of love from a community of people that we didn't know, like from complete strangers, really affected us so deeply that it really changed me forever. So you become cynical in life, and renewed my faith in humanity and love and people and everything else. But um so to give you like an abridged version of what it is, so we got the patches. I would bring them to the hospital with us. I would sew them on Oliver's jacket, then sew them on my jacket, and sew them on Trisha's jacket and Peter's jacket. And Trisha and I and Oliver would wear them to treatment. And they became the suit of armor. Even though he didn't know everyone that received them, that he got the patches from, he knew what the patches meant to that person because everyone sent the letter. So, like, oh, this is from a Grateful Dead concert that someone went to. And this is from like a Vietnam, like someone who was in the Vietnam War,
Oh,
and police departments, fire departments, Cookie Boss patches, are really patches that meant something to somebody. They sent to Oliver with a note. And some patches we received didn't have a note, right? But those represented that someone was thinking about us and loving us.
I,
Um,
I love that you're wearing. I hope that I know a lot of people listen to this podcast and they don't look, but if any of you have time to just like look on YouTube, because you have to see what Brian is wearing. He's wearing one of the jackets, and I actually have Michael's jacket here too, because I was gonna put it on, and one of us might put it on later, but it is right here, and
It's awesome.
it's amazing. We'll put it on later, but yeah, patches. I don't know
yeah.
if like, did you even know what patches were, Michael?
Not really. I mean,
Not
I knew what they
really.
were, but I didn't know they were such an
All right,
amazing.
you guys, I'll see you later. I'm getting off now.
No, but no,
How could you
no,
not know what patches are? It's like
no,
no, I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding.
but no, think about it. It's true. You're talking about juicy fruit, dude, and like, they don't know juice.
I
Do you
know,
know
I know,
juicy
it's
No, I
true.
fruit
don't
is?
It's
know.
true.
Doesn't even know. It's a
I don't
stick
know what
of gum.
juicy fruit is. No, I don't.
A
No.
stick of it's gum. It's a gum. It's like yellow. It's
It's
called
like,
juicy fruit.
yeah, it's like,
I think I've heard of it.
Like, Brian and I are like the same age, and Michael's way
I know,
younger.
it's true.
I'm
It's
way
true.
older than both of
Wait,
y'all.
no, you're not.
Old
Yeah,
You're
I
soul.
am.
mentally,
Physically.
physically, mentally and physically, but the time on the
Physically,
actual
I'll give you that,
planet,
Michael. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
no, the time on the actual planet, Brian and I got you beat. Okay.
Probably not.
I don't know. On this planet, yeah, we do.
I guess so.
But
But
yeah, so these patches are just, and they're colorful and beautiful. Actually, I didn't realize that all four of you put them
yeah,
on your
yeah,
jackets.
we all have jackets, and those
I
jackets,
knew eventually, but oh,
yeah, we have them all, and it was, so what happened was we would go to treatments, right? We'd wear them, and people would say, I like to Oliver, like, I love your jacket. And he's like, thanks, I have leukemia. Not thanks, I have leukemia. So he wasn't
right.
victimized by his diagnosis, right? He became empowered by all the physical love around him that became a suit of armor for him. Like, really became a suit of armor.
So beautiful.
He was physically surrounded by love. So we would keep going to treatments. We'd wear them all the time. Little army that we had. And one day he said, I would like to give patches to other kids. So
Well,
that's
2,000 is a lot. So you
It's a
must have had
lot.
in 1 month. That means you must have had a lot more than
I
2,000
have,
coming.
like, if I can show you my whole wall with them all, I have a lot, and I still have more than I could possibly do with. But those were patches sent specifically to Oliver,
Right.
and that was important for us to keep
Of
it that way.
course.
So Trish and I, both from the art world, we reached out to our community that we know best, which is other artists, and I said, hey, I have this idea where we have this idea that we want to make patches for kids, but we're wondering if you want to do a graphic design for something, and we could make them in a patch, but you can't sell them or make them the stickers. We wanted to kind of be something really cool just for these kids, and
Just for just to be clear, it is just for oncology kids.
yeah. So our program, the Oliver Patch Project, is open, 100% free and open to any child in active treatment in the United States.
Right.
And so
Although we heard pre-production that you're trying to get this international.
I mean, that's like, and
The
that's our
dream.
goal. That's our goal, right? Really, our goal is to empower, whether it's through the jackets or not, it's to empower kids and give them the support. And, so and give them the support system and to stay with families, right? So I'll go into that in a second. But so what we did, we started to produce patches, and that's kind of how the Oliver Patch Project started. So how it works now is a child picks out a jacket or tote. All the jackets and totes are made by Perry Ellis International, which is also Penguin brand, and they
Amazing.
which is absolutely amazing. So what they do is
Yeah.
they pick out a jacket or a tote, 20 of their favorite patches. We sew those patches onto a jacket. We then embroider their nickname, kind of like Dad would be like here. And
Yes.
then we mail it to them. And at that point, we send a box of milestones like this that we send to each parent. So what we did is we took the 13 bravest and strongest animals and we've made them, iron-on patches that the parents can give to them, therefore empowering the parents as well. So, for example, the first time you get your blood transfusion, that you get the blood transfusion patch. Everything we do, it has animations, kind of really super fun and lighthearted. We didn't want to make it too medical. They get enough of that.
Yeah.
And really just so that, the parents can also, as a parent going through this, and this, like you basically have to surrender everything. As a parent, we have a tendency to want to protect our children, right? And our offspring. And you kind of have to let that go. And that's very hard for a lot of parents.
Let go of control. It's been
Let
one
go of
of my
control.
biggest lessons is letting go of control.
Trisha and I joke the only thing we know is we don't know.
Oh,
It's like
definitely.
you really don't know what's going on. You learn to let go and put it up into to God or the universe or whatever you believe, right?
Yes,
But
of
just
course.
to render that up because and then because you have to find a peace within that, right? So here's an example. This is kind of like what a jacket would look like for the kids. So
Yeah,
this
they
is what a jacket
are
would look like, and here's a tote.
the tote. I love it.
So, you know, so yeah, so they get that. And then from that point on, we knew 6 months into it, it was really, really quiet for us. Chemo was really kicking in, chemo, steroids, all the different, the meds, the vincristine, the everything else. Like
Oh, yeah.
um, it was getting hard and it was quiet. It was crickets because the support that you get in the beginning, and understandable, no one's to blame for that. Like, but the
No.
love and support that you got in the beginning changed because people were getting on with their lives, right, and doing things. But we knew from that get go that we wanted to support families for a period of time. So from that moment, the child is enrolled into our Patches of Positivity program. Every month they get a patch in a card with an animation in the mail, just to let them know that they're loved. And that's really it. Like we have no expectate. We don't need anything from parents. We don't need anything from families. They don't have to follow us. They don't have to share us. They don't have to send us photos. They really don't have to do anything. I mean, we just
Even
want,
though they do because they want to.
yeah, you know what, which is
They
kind of
want to.
really amazing because
Yeah.
um, people belong to like a community,
Yes.
and we're super excited. We're in every single state
Oh,
and we have close to 900 kids already. So, which is really great in 2
we
years.
we
Wow.
we were just with you in Washington, D.C. at CureFest, and I remember we saw a couple of people with jackets, and we are like, "Oh my God,
I
you have
know.
on the Oliver Patch Project
We had I
jacket!"
had mine,
He
so
had it. His is right here.
yeah.
It's just beautiful, and I wish my camera was way bigger. It's beautiful. So you guys just and like the Michael and I steal it all the time. See, I really do think you should expand this to caregivers. Sorry, I'm gonna steal that idea. There's
Oh
gonna
my
be
God,
like
I could never handle the and we
I'm
do
teasing you. I'm
get,
teasing
I know,
you.
but we get a lot of people reaching out. But you know what? And people want to buy patches. They want to buy. We try to do croc charms for kids. A lot of fun things. But you know what? We don't sell anything, and like
No,
that's
I
important.
know.
It has to be free. Has to be free. And we've done a very good job of opening it up. So every child that is a has a has tried has signed up to get a jacket. We've been able to get everyone a jacket so far. But it's kind of getting to the point that it's like it's which is really great. And sad, right? That there's that many kids that
I
that are
know.
going through this, but we know the power of positivity, and and I've had the opportunity to speak on this on many occasions that especially within the clinical research space, and when you have a positive attitude and when you look at it through those eyes, you're actually giving the treatments opportunity to work. right?
Right.
You're giving that opportunity because to work at the best of their ability, right? It's essential. Like it's not even like an option really as far as you're concerned. And I think what happens is people also need to know it's okay to be positive, right? I think as families and as parents, and you get a lot of attention, but it comes from an attention of a sorrowful place, right? People that send love, and it's still in general, like people care about you, but they care about you from like, oh my God, I don't know how you're doing this. Like, I don't know how you're going to get through this. I can't imagine it's coming from a place of like becoming oppressed by this, right? And becoming a victim of this. And I think, in the beginning, we tried really hard. We're like, no, 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 we're not doing that. Like, we'll take the love, we'll take the energy, we'll take the whatever you believe in, but we don't want love through sympathy and sorrow. We want love and
And
sympathy.
there's a big difference between sympathy and empathy as well. You
100%.
want
And I
someone
think
that's like, yeah,
that's
I
your
think
guys'
that's
thing. That's your mission. And like, and
that
that,
is our mission as well. Yeah.
so it's really important. And I think people need permission to know it's okay to be good, right? Not to be bad. I think there's this expectation as family and parents to kind of like to feel like you're living in this dark cave. And don't get me wrong, it sucks. And you guys can attest for that. But how you present this and how you speak to the world and present how you want to be as getting through this, right? I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
So I have to ask you a question. How
Yeah.
did Oliver react to the Oliver Patch project? Like, what was his? Because I know you're saying that you guys don't want to be victimized, and obviously you guys weren't. Because look at what you've done. So how was Oliver's initial reaction to you doing all of this for him, and now for all these other kids around the world?
Because I know you said it was his
It was his
his,
idea. I mean, it
his
was his
idea,
idea because
but this is
Yeah, now it's
huge,
coming into the, like I would say, I like stumbled on the most amazing like accident, or not as an accident, but really a blessing from
organic though.
as you guys know, like this is the club, the cancer is the club that no one wants to be in, right?
But
But
when you're in it,
it's actually made of the most amazing and loving people. So I think Michael, when Oliver first came up with this idea, I think he's uh he's very excited, especially when we go to clinic and he sees people wearing the outfits, when he sees photos of me when I was in DC, when he gets these letters from people in the mail and these kids and photographs. I think he's really excited. We've been very cautious too of making sure that Oliver um is remains Oliver, right? Because like, okay, so he went into a middle school and his new
because
school,
he's
and
12 now. I just want
he's
to
12 now.
remind
So
everyone
this
in the
was
audience, he's
so like
12 now.
last year transitioning into new school, which is old school new Oliver, who went through chemo and all this stuff, right? So he's in a new school and he's in the photo magnet program, which he loves. But they were like saying, oh, let's from coming in, they're like show photos of what you've done from your summer. And at that point, he was still in treatment. So I said, hey, Oliver, are you going to share your journey with these kids? And he's like, I don't really want anyone to feel sorry for me. Um, and which is really kind of, and I respect that. So whenever we have an opportunity to talk, or we give him that option, like, hey, is this something you want to do? Is this something that we want to do as a family? Is this something? And normally he really does want to do that. And, but we kind of want to make sure that out of respect for where he's at, that he doesn't be, I always see these stories of like child stars and how they become debaucherous individuals. Um, so I don't want it to be he's very, very proud and he comes and he helps out, but it's not something that we're going to make his, I don't want to say a burden, but his responsibility, right?
Right.
His responsibility, because he can have on days and off days, and that's important. And to put him in a situation that, he's on center stage, but maybe he doesn't want to be there, like I think is wrong. So,
Yeah,
and I think you guys know that as well, and understand that. It has to be driven from everything you guys are doing. Like if Michael's not cool with like you guys have to always be in that headspace of like Michael's taking this journey and this path to kind of be a spokesperson for what he's
100%.
going through, and 100% positivity, and together you guys are teammates in that. But if one of you decided to, if you, Michael, wasn't in the right mood and you had something to do, you would talk and wouldn't expect Michael has to be there, right? It's that understanding and love.
100%. We talk about that a lot, and especially because we have gone to some events recently, and some things Michael's like, I'm too tired, or for what,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or actually at Cure Fest, there was a moment that it was really emotional for him, and Michael's like, I need to step back. First, I'm tired, and second, this is so emotional, and we took a step back, and we
Yep.
went, and and that's I agree with that. With my husband, we've talked about this. Michael knows we kept our his cancer story really private. At that time, it was very personal, private, and he didn't really want to share it. And I was fine with that. We had 3 young kids. I took my lead from Michael. I did post one video on Instagram, and from that, we always say we got such this huge, just like you with the patches. I posted a video that got this huge outpouring of love,
Yeah.
which pretty much set the tone. But at the same time, I was like, I would only share if Michael were okay. And there was a moment, I think we took about 6 months. We didn't podcast when he was really sick. He didn't want to be on, so we didn't post anything.
Yeah.
And now you're at a different place, and it goes through phases, life, but I'm grateful you're very purpose driven. I'm grateful it's affected him that way. It is beautiful. And we've met Oliver a lot. Like, we're buddies. Oliver and Michael, they
Yeah.
have a difference in age, but cancer has, I should let you speak to this, has bound them together. But we both did a television interview back to back. And when we heard Oliver speak on that TV interview, because we've met him a million times, but when I heard him speak, I was like, wow, he's like Michael. He's so wise in his 12 years.
He's an old soul,
He's an old soul. He's an old soul. Who came up with the 13 milestones?
Well, what we did is we spoke with, so as we were developing this, like, it was very important for us to get feedback from families. Like, I know when we were building out the site, and we spoke with parents that had lost children, right? Because I
Yeah,
needed them to go through the site, and it was something is like, our definition of a warrior, because sometimes a warrior isn't someone who wins, right? It's someone who fights.
no,
So, but even with us, like, understanding what that means, and there was a section that we have, like, a rang the bell patch, right? And on our website we had success, and it was the bell ringing as a gift, and I was like, and they were like, that's not success. And I'm like, oh my God, you're totally right. So for us, we're only as good as our team. And that team is anyone and everyone that wants to give us insight or advice. So with the milestones, what we did is we spoke with a lot of child life social workers, because
oh,
our experience was with ALL, right? Which it's
right,
not tumor based, right? So
right,
I didn't even have a tumor. Like, I didn't even have a surgery patch. I was like, what? Like, what do you mean surgery? And they're like, yeah, a lot of cancers, there's surgery involved.
right,
So what we did is we kind of looked at it as a whole, and there's 13 major milestones that by default you have to go through, right? It's not like you're earning your Boy Scout badge for lighting a fire. Like, you have to go through things, whether it's a radiation chemotherapy,
right,
a surgery, port placement, IV, neutropenic, right? High fevers. These are all things that are really that you'll have to go through. Of course, within any specialized treatment, there's other, like when bone marrow transplant, like, that's a whole nother thing. That's not the
right.
one that general population gets. But so what we tried to do is limit it to the 13 major milestones, and we assigned them with the 13 bravest and strongest animals. And this is always something that we're looking to grow as we start to specify into different areas of focus, as well. But that's kind of where initially it came from, is from our amazing insight we got from the people that worked in this industry. I mean, and that
Okay.
is a continued thing that we do.
So I looked at it, I was like, wow, it's so smart. And I was like, who came up with that? That's really smart. It's
It's like
great. I love it.
probably the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts came up with it first,
Yeah, kind of
because it
true.
was like, I always loved they had those little triangle patches, and I was like, man, I always wanted to be in the Boy Scouts when I was little. And
Just for the
But
patches.
yeah,
speaking about stuff that I do know about, I know about basketball, and I want to hear the story about
I know.
Shaquille O'Neal,
He stole my question. Well, we,
because
we go off of each other. How did you get
this was just
Shaquille
so cool to
O'Neal?
me.
Well, tell people the story. Like, he's freaking on your
Do you
website.
wanna do you wanna see? I have his jacket. So we made two jackets, okay? One was for Shaquille O'Neal, and we made an exact duplicate that he's hopefully planning on signing, and we're gonna put up at Nicholas. So,
Wow.
At Nicholas Children's Hospital. Okay, because some of you listening to this are at other places, but really quick, Nicholas Children's Hospital is where Michael had his oncology treatment, his bone marrow transplant, and also Oliver. So that is how we met there. But
Nicholas
okay, go ahead.
Children's Hospital is the most amazing place
In
in
the
the world.
world,
Like, and we would do anything for these people. I mean, there
100%.
is,
100%.
they are
It's a
family.
beautiful
They're
hospital.
family, 100% family. And, and anything at all that I believe either one of us, we do anything for them because they're just,
That is how we feel.
they're the beautiful, most beautiful, supportive community, period.
Ever.
Um,
And
so,
artistic. And
in our,
just
yeah, I mean, everything. So, okay.
everything.
So Shaquille O'Neal. So we had, talk about like degrees of separation, right? I had a friend that I work with, and we were developing someone who's like this guy Ryan, and he was just such an amazing individual who really cared about what we were doing and was very supportive of what we were doing. And his mom was, I believe, a trainer at one time, like I don't know if she was a physical therapist, but she was a trainer and worked within as you can see, I'm not like a gym rat, so I don't really know, but that gym kind of working out and stuff like that. And she met this from years and years ago from up north somewhere. She met this gentleman, Jerome. So it turns out Shaquille O'Neal there's one way to get to Shaquille O'Neal, from what I'm told, okay? And this might be all made up, but this is the story that I'm going with. So Shaquille O'Neal is one way you can get to him, and Shaquille O'Neal has had a bodyguard from when he was in college, and that bodyguard, and the only way you can get through to Shaquille is through Jerome.
I was going to say, I want to meet Jerome.
Yeah, I mean,
Can we meet
I want to
Jerome?
meet you. I've never met them yet, So,
Darn.
so she talked to Jerome, and she's friends, and and in respect for that relationship, she doesn't ask of anything
Of
really,
course,
much.
of course.
So, when Ryan asked his mom, they were like, "Hey, I'm doing this thing." His mom really also felt moved by what we're doing, and kind of as ambassadors, they reached out to Jerome, and Jerome said Shaquille O'Neal will do something for us. So we made a jacket. It's something we knew probably about a year before he said he would do it, but I wanted to wait for the right moment, as far as like and that we were ready, right, for it. So we made him a jacket, and we had it ready, and these were all patches that were
That
part of
must be
his.
a really big
Oh my God,
jacket.
he's giant.
Could fit like 5 Michaels in it.
He's absolutely giant, and basically, what you guys want to see it, I have it right here. I can show you.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second.
And people, okay, you have to watch on YouTube now. There's like no excuse, because if you're not watching on YouTube, there goes Brian. He has left his chair. Dink dink.
Okay, so
Okay, it's a vest. No, it's a vest, but does it have the
it's a
sleeve?
vest, and then we did this awesome. An artist friend of mine, Ashlee,
Wow.
did this awesome painting for him on the back. But if you notice with this one, similar to the nature of Oliver getting these patches of love, all these patches were curated. I mean, we have some of our patches like Stand Tall and stuff that we felt were, really great for him. But so many of these patches were like he was a DJ and he was in a film, and we have one from Gillette,
The
and like
Olympics.
all his sponsors, and involved in the Olympics, and in the Lakers, and there's a Kobe patch, and there's so there's really, we tried to do a lot of different ones. He was involved with Ferrari, and so in films, and so we tried to represent him and what he did, curate something that was kind of like his journey and his path,
Right.
and then we put our stuff in as well. So we sent this jacket to him, and he did this amazing video for us for National Patch Day, which is another initiative that we
Which
launched.
is the next thing I was going to ask you about. But wait, that is so cool. Have you
No,
actually talked to him, or he just sent the video?
I have not talked to him, and but I have, no, I have not talked to him.
I
It's
just want
been
to hug
always
him.
through
I want to
translating,
feel how it would
because
feel to
it's a
hug
very,
him.
he's very private, I mean, as
Right.
much as he's very, and he has to be. I mean, if first of all, if I had his phone number or his email, that would be his worst mistake he ever did, because I'd be like, "What's up? How you doing today?" Like, I would be like, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to give me his number. I don't think that would not be good.
Well, all that matters is that beautiful thing that he did, which you made him that beautiful vest, and he wore it, and I
And he did
love
an
it.
amazing shout out, for us.
He
I mean,
did an amazing shout, and the shout out was actually for National Patch Day,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Okay, so explain a little bit about that because we remember when this was happening because we know you really well, but want to explain a little bit about
Sure,
National
sure.
Patch
And how that
Day?
yeah, and how that came to be. So, um, National Patch Day. Okay, so we would go two things really were one that really triggered this kind of like um this happening, right? So we would go and do hospitals. We do events at the hospital. We're a very art centric organization, nonprofit. So we do things with the kids, but we'd have the kids that come by in our program with their jackets and their totes, and then we have other kids that came, but they weren't cancer diagnosed, right? They had rare blood disorders or sickle cell or these other very intense you know illnesses, life threatening, but they weren't cancer. And our funding is allocated towards cancer, like kids and
Right, it's
teens battling
oncology.
cancer in the United States,
Right.
oncology. So for us, it broke our hearts to see these people because
Yeah,
they're like, we would love a jacket. And like, one, we can never cater to all those kids at this point. In our dream and hopes, we would love to expand, right, to do that. But at this moment, like our mission and focus is in pediatrics,
right.
cancer and oncology. So, so that, and then every day we watch Trisha has the news when she's getting ready and on, and it's all just sad, sad stuff, except they have these moments of like, um, today's National Donut Day or National Bring Your Kids to Work Day, and it's always this happy moments. I feel like they put these tidbits of information in, which is normally a national day, to why each day should be celebrated, which in concept
Of
is
course.
a really beautiful thing. Sometimes the absurdity has become like National Deep Dish Pizza Day. It's like, I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I any excuse to eat like
Okay,
pizza or chocolate is like good for me. So,
I
but
looked one up recently. There was a National Lazy Moms Day, and I was like, really?
yeah, I mean, there's a really so,
Really?
but there are many, many national days, and what they do there. So I was like, what makes a national day? I'm like, it's like I like hearing that on the news. I mean, it's like the things that I
Yeah.
look forward to. Um, so turns out there's a registry of names, and they get 25,000 applicants a year, of which they accept 30, and we applied.
Wow, 25,000?
Yeah, 25,000. They only accept 30 a year, and we received we were granted National Patch Day. So, which was
Amazing.
really 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 amazing. Um and what is National Patch Day is on June 24th, and it was the first day that Oliver received this patch, okay? And what we
Mm,
realized by receiving that patch is, that token that someone said, I mean, what is a patch really? I mean, like Ashley, you and I are going to go back to like patches, so you get
yeah.
a rip in your jeans, and a patch
That's what I
mends
was just
these
gonna say. I
things.
remember, get a rip in your jeans.
And it's used to mend two things and bring them together, right? So the
Yeah,
significance and the meaning of that is truly amazing. So anyone could use a little love and support through the mail, I think, and patch really just represents a token of love and someone thinking about them, whether there's words attached to it or not. There's an intention between about getting something in the mail. So how National Patch Day works, it's a 365-day initiative. That you can go to oliverpatchproject.org or nationalpatchday.org. Anyone can go to our site and send a patch to a child, a teen that can use a little love, whether it's
right.
through
Doesn't have to be
mental,
oncology, right? It can be
physical,
anything,
whether it's
right?
for physical illnesses or mental health and well-being. We're really concerned a lot of the kids that we see in these programs are not only dealing with physical ailments, they're also dealing with mental health, concerns as well.
Of
So
course.
this is something that we do, and it's 100% free and open to anyone. So it's kind of very exciting because we even have some of the Make-A-Wish wish granters sending it to their wish kids.
Mm,
And this is something that we get different organizations, and one of the patches was supported by Shaquille O'Neal. We have Perry Ellis supported a patch, a tech industry called RealPage. So which is really great. So
there's a
as we
future
get more
patch
and
by
more,
Michael and Mom.
there you go. But as you get organizations that come on and become supporters of this, we can create this patch and make it now available. Our hopes are just to grow the selection of patch. So there's many, many, many things. And because it's 365 days, listen, mental health is not one day a year, right? It has to
I
be.
know.
It has
Ironically, we're recording this on like World Mental Health Day.
Really?
Ironically, it is today, October 10th. It
Mhm.
won't
Wow.
come out today, but yeah, ironically, talking about mental health. And this is such a part of mental health, everything you're
Yeah.
doing. Oh my gosh, when you were talking about the patches, that's true. It's just, that is what a patch was. And it's not trying to hide,
Yeah.
like what you were saying about connection. It's not trying to hide that something happened. It's beautifying it or putting your personality or your stamp on it. And I think that goes along with scars and, kind of embracing it. I love it so much on every single level. The Oliver Patch Project, it just like hits every single level. I love it so much.
Well, thank you, and I think to tag along with what you just said, we wanted kids to be able to choose their own patches, to express their personality. When you're in treatment, you have no choices. You have to follow protocol. Like, we
Right.
wanted them to express themselves as much as possible. And we don't do any cancer related patches because, okay, just like I was talking about Oliver, if someone's wearing this jacket, this kid's walking jacket, people like, I like your jacket. They could say, thanks, I have cancer and this was or they can say thanks. And then someone's like, how do I get a jacket like that? And like, you can't, like, peace out. It's like, it's
Yes.
one of those things that it's kind of, we wanted to create, for lack of better words, and you might have to beat this, like a badass club for kids with cancer. Like, that's not about cancer.
You
Our
don't have
program,
to bleep
okay,
it.
our
We
program
say
is not
that.
about cancer. Our program is about empowerment, right? And it's about
Yes.
empowerment and support, right? And, we're
Connection, community,
100%. We're
positivity,
very
like
clear on
color.
what our purpose is. We're
Yeah.
clear on what our purpose is. There's so many, many amazing organizations doing so many great things, but really we want to help support, encourage, empower children and their families, teens and their families. So,
I
that's what
I
we do.
I love that so much. And nothing against, like, we have some beautiful shirts that people have given us, but I do love that it doesn't have to be cancer. It doesn't have to be that someone looks at you and is like, oh, that's a shirt about
Yep.
cancer or a
Yep.
jacket about cancer.
Yep.
And I think that that's a nice choice to have.
Definitely beautiful.
Yeah. Um, I just want to ask, how's Oliver? How's Peter? I mean,
Yeah.
I know, but
They're doing
tell our
great. Oliver
audience.
is 15 months in remission and is
Yes.
doing great, is back to reality of going to school every day and
Yeah.
having lots of
Middle
homework in
school.
middle
Wow.
school, having lots of homework, obviously being with his friends and all that stuff, and back to birthday parties and
It's
all that
crazy.
stuff. He's doing really 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 great, and Peter is also getting older and very smart, and we're very blessed.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time together, and and I always say the best thing that my best job is being a dad, right? That's the most important thing to me, and this is really uh, going through this whole experience, and I know that has been, for lack of better words, a blessing in a weird way. And I know people
Yes.
take that, they don't like say that, like, well, how come? But you know what? It's renewed my faith in humanity and people, and it's taught me so much about myself. I was so judgmental. I meet somebody who's nice, right? And I'm like, what does that person want? What's the hidden agenda? What's the hidden agenda? Now I just, like, soon as that comes up, I just, like, get rid of it. Like, who cares what, like, I don't need to carry that around. Like, if we can just love and without expectation, right? And without, like, requirement. Like, I think that that's kind of where I strive to be every day, and not to hold anger or hold grudges or develop, you know, animosity or any of that stuff, and that's a challenge. Your first reaction, and I don't know why that is when someone says something to you, is think about what do they really mean, like, what,
Because
rather
it's
than what
all
they're
the
saying.
negativity bias. It's like this whole
Yeah.
scientific thing.
Yeah.
But there's the 5-second rule. When that negative thing happens, just embrace it for 5 seconds and get rid of it. I
Yeah.
think it's a
Yeah.
good
I
rule
mean,
to
that's
have because you can't deny it. And we
nope.
all have our
It-
negative feelings for all those reasons. But
100%.
we are such on the same page. And what's really beautiful is that Oliver is in remission and And for some people, I mean, they go through their cancer journey and they do, not that it doesn't affect them, but they leave it a little bit behind them, of course, and they move on, and that's
And
fine and beautiful.
I
And they
totally
totally get,
understand. Yeah.
we understand that too. But Michael and I have not, and you have not. You have decided it's really become your life's purpose, because I see you in 20 years, with this even bigger and more beautiful. And I hope to see that Oliver has, gone on and never relapsed, and cancer's never been part of the story again, but it has certainly changed your life, and you have made this your mission and purpose, which is, we're all here for a reason. So I have
Yeah.
a shirt that says there is no why. It's one of my cancer shirts. There is no why, but it's not saying there is no why as in there's no purpose. It's saying we don't always know the why.
No, and
We don't
and
always know the why.
purpose is essential, I mean, people use the
Yeah.
word passion, and I heard this last weekend, the difference between, passion could die, right? But purpose is a commitment, right? Is a meaning, is, what you're meant to do and what you're committed to do. Um so yeah,
And
I
that's
mean,
the
yeah.
blessing of cancer. Like, that's where the blessing comes in, is because you really do find a purpose. And I think some people are lacking a purpose, and they have to, I think in a way we were blessed that we found our purpose very organically. You did, you embraced it. I know for Michael, same thing. I keep talking. I'm sorry.
No, I'm listening to you guys have this amazing conversation, and you guys are just flowing so naturally. I didn't want to like interrupt because I'm just so amazed by the wisdom between you two people, and I'm just blessed to be the one hearing all this. It's amazing that I'm learning so much from you guys. There's always so much to learn, and having you guys as sort of like mentors in my life is just it's a huge blessing. You guys are both very successful people in what you do, and it's awesome that we all share this amazing perspective on life. It's a beautiful
Thank you,
thing.
Michael. I mean, I appreciate that, but you guys also, you know that I'm a huge fan, and I always try to, uh, and I always believe in putting you guys. I mean, your story, the way that you talk, how you speak, the advocacy you're doing, going through what you're going, like you're living it and you're going through it. Okay, this is, you know, and and I think this is a conversation. You talk about, everyone's in a different phase, right? You have people that have lost someone, you have someone who's going through it, and you have someone who's into survivorship, and those are definitely different conversations to be had. But to be an advocate of someone who's uh going through it, and someone who's a spokesperson for, like, okay, I'm in the battle and I'm doing this, man, that's like so much more powerful, I believe, than in hindsight, or someone who hasn't gone through it, or someone who's been through it. You're talking at it with such a, you know you're doing these things between treatments, right? And there's something really beautiful about that, and that's really special. So you, as much as I appreciate all your kind words, it could never begin to tackle my admiration for you and
Thank
your.
you. Thank you.
It is reciprocal.
Thank you.
We love you. There is a reason that we have bonded with you.
Yeah, and
And
thank you.
that was another meant to be.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on the podcast with us
Thank
today.
you.
No,
Thank
I
you.
love you guys, and and I'll do anything, and then maybe one day you'll let me attend your book signing or something.
Of course, we want patches for the book signing. We need the
Oh,
Michael and Mom patch.
see, that's your hidden agenda. That's why you have me on the show, to get patches.
Are you
Oh yeah,
kidding?
you're
There,
right. You're right.
the
You've exposed
agenda,
us.
the agenda to doing the podcast with you, the hidden agenda was, let's hang out with Brian for 45 minutes and talk, because every time we hang out and talk to you, we could talk forever. And I'm so happy that we could share it with the people listening, because you truly are a magical human. Your family is so beautiful, and Oliver is a shining light. And so is Peter, because I don't want to leave Peter out, but Oliver really is a shining light, and we've gotten to know him and your family so well. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
being
you.
Oh my
on
gosh.
the podcast.
Yeah. Do you have any closing words? Like, sometimes we ask questions, but do you have anything that you want to share?
No, you know what? I think the biggest thing that I would like to present to other families that are going through this, is we all know that it sucks, you
Yeah.
know, but I think what's really important is you need to be able to give yourself permission to be okay, you know? You need to give yourself permission to be okay. You need to know that, and it's hard because you're always being, a lot of times how you're approached is from a sympathy perspective, and that's not bad, and that's not ill intended from anyone. But what happens is when you approach from like, oh my God, how can you do it? You start to believe and hear these things to the point that it kind of does the reverse thing. You start to
Yeah.
think, well, I don't know how I can do it. I don't know. Like, so I would challenge you to say, hey, you know, m- be that be that strength, find that strength. I mean, having that positive attitude to everything, it makes all the difference. It makes all the difference. Like, I'm not going to deny anyone um, that it doesn't suck, because it does. And we all know this. But sometimes acknowledging that it sucks is giving it power, right? Sometimes it's, and I think that I've done, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, but many of this I've just had put the blinders on. This is happening and it's time to put my big boy pants on and let's do this. I
Yeah.
find that it's all coming out now. And you need to let it come out and seep out however it needs to come. But, you know, um, I think allow yourself to, I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but to accept the love in the,
I
like,
get you.
it's okay for you to be okay, right?
I get
It's
you.
okay.
I lead a caregiver support group, and we have discussed this in my group about how it takes courage to be positive
Yes.
sometimes, because
Yes.
sometimes you're just like, if I give in and if I think I'm okay and if I think we're okay and if I'm too happy, what if the other shoe drops? And so sometimes you have to just dive in and take the courage and be like, I am going to be happy, because as much as we get a little bit tired of hearing day by day, it really is day by day. And
It
that
is.
is one of the lessons of cancer. So if it is day by day, let us enjoy the gifts that we have today. I believe that 100%. It's not toxic positivity. Michael and I, we really are positive. Not every moment. We have our moments that it's crappy, as you said, and it does suck. But then, okay, let's have fun. Let us have fun. We're allowed to have fun too, even though we're going through some hell.
100%.
And yeah, and I think that sometimes it takes more courage to have fun, honestly.
I
So
agree.
I love that you said that. You and I, we are related. We are
We are.
family. We are
You're my
family.
I would say you're my other brother from another mother, but you're
I
not. You're
know.
my other
I would say
you're my
you're my
other
brother.
sister from another mister.
Yeah, you're my brother from another mother. So Michael's like, oh damn.
Michael's like,
Oh,
"Yo, I
these
need to."
people.
Oh, these
Michael's
hippies.
like, "He's so." But
No,
listen, I
you would
I
know.
I love you guys so much, and
Mm,
I'm really honored to be on this podcast, and and I'm very very excited for all the magic that's in front of both of you, and it's been so great watching, you know, you guys just being honest and talking, communicating, and seeing what's blossoming from that, right? I mean, that's what's really exciting. That excites me so much, is to see the for me, the more people that get to hear your message, the better the world is. So I'm going to do everything I can to promote
mm.
that. So
That's how we feel about you.
all right. So
Well,
Yes,
this
we'll
is
agree to agree.
we definitely.
this is an official goodbye, and thank you for listening from your host Michael and
Ashlee, Michael's mom, and thank you so much, Brian.
thank you.
Oliver Patch Project, I will put it in the show notes, but just Google Oliver Patch Project, website, Instagram, Facebook. Beautiful.
Love you
Thank
guys.
you. We
I'll see you.
love you.